Hey everybody. I've never done something like this before. Hopefully it comes out alright. Anyways, I've been checked out for a while. Haven't been on social media much the last few months. Thought maybe it's time I should explain a few things. A lot of you know I've been battling cancer for a couple years, and early April, I guess, this year, things had spiraled downward pretty quickly. The tumor in my lung had grown exponentially in size, um, about 23 centimeters, something like this. Anyways, I was falling apart, and I was kind of stuck in an insurance tug of war for a while, and I spent about a month at home basically dying, and finally got into care, and I was hospitalized immediately for about 10 days. I had to get basically I was in a fever state, so they wanted to rule out infection and all that before I could start chemotherapy. So that's how that all started. I finished my chemo about a month ago, about 3.5 months. Pretty heavy dose, heavy, demanding schedule, I should say. Uh, some weeks I was getting 11 infusions in 5 days, so it kicked my ass pretty good. And anyways, I'm feeling okay right now. I should say I'm not here to sound an alarm, but I just wanted to fill everybody in a little bit on what's been happening, since I haven't really been doing any of that lately. So like I said, I did chemo almost the last 4 months. My tumor shrank down to about from 23 centimeters to about 9 at the point that I had finished chemo. And as of a week or so ago, it's shrunk down 2 more centimeters. So we're at about 7, I think, according to the last scan I got. Something I wanted to talk about that I did during the majority of my chemotherapy is I started taking a suppository, a THC/CBD suppository that my friend Ursula has been making for me. And really, I could probably do a video just on that, which maybe I will. But what I can say about it is that it, despite the brutalness of chemo, this suppository really greatly aided me in getting through the process. And by that specifically, I can say that it got me off all the medications that were prescribed to me, probably about 3 or 4 at least, that were designed for anti-nausea, or I was struggling with an iron deficiency. 3 or 4 other things, honestly, that I no longer took once I actually felt way better once I got off of those meds and only did suppository. My oncologist and all my nurses were quite aware of what I was doing, and as long as they couldn't see that it was interfering with my treatment, they really couldn't do anything about it. Ventura County is a little bit, I think, behind the curve with this kind of thing. Initially, when I was hospitalized, I had a nurse tattle on me, I guess. So I was visited by a doctor or two about this stuff I had, and they really said, ultimately, if you think this is going to help you, then we are okay with it. But there's definitely there's some conflict still here in this county for sure when it comes to medical marijuana. But what can I say? It greatly improved my time through this ordeal. And I know the difference because my first round of chemo, I didn't use it. And from that point onward, I did. And I can have that A-B comparison. I have two friends who have also, unfortunately, who have cancer, who have done the same exact thing. They're using it as well now and had a similar experience about improvement of their condition through their treatment. So I'm not really a fluke. I'm going to continue to use it. Sorry, it looks like I'm losing focus. Okay. I'm still using it now, and I probably will for the foreseeable future. Anyways, some people ask me why I waited this long to go through chemo, and my short answer is I got a lot of conflicting advice about doing it. My first surgeon and urologist, as well as a second urologist at UCLA, both told me I was not a candidate for chemo as the type of cancer I have, which I should probably remind some of you. I have testicular cancer that metastasized to my right lung ultimately, and that's where the majority of my problems have been. But for the first 6 months, 8 months, I was under the impression that I was not a good candidate for chemotherapy by word of the doctors I had or had seen. Last year, I was scheduled for a surgery to have the tumor in my lung removed when it was much smaller, about 5 centimeters. We got as far as scheduling the surgery, meeting with the surgeon, but within a few days of the surgery, it was canceled, and I wasn't really given a very good explanation as to why. I was just told by the oncologist I had at the time that he's switching me to chemotherapy. So I was angry and confused, and I had started to use a different product at the time called Protocell, which is not something a conventional doctor will suggest you use. It's not an FDA approved product, but I gave it a shot. I was in touch with other people who were using it and who had success with it. Now, my tumor continued to grow, although it never spread to anywhere else in my body since. So Protocell to me may have worked as far as that, but ultimately my lung was still under siege. So unfortunately, at this point, once I checked in April this year to start chemo, and the tumor was so big, I had asked them, why don't you just, what's stopping you from just taking my whole lung out at this point? And they said, well, no, chemo will shrink this tumor, and we'd like to save the lung as much as we could. So, okay. Now I saw a new surgeon yesterday, and as it stands now, they don't know whether this tumor is dead or alive. There's still a mass in here, but it's not lighting up, I don't think, on the last PET scan. They inject sugar into you when you get a PET scan, and cancer cells, they love sugar, so they light up, and that's how the scan really can see that if there's active cancer. The concern is that maybe inside of this mass, there's still some cancer cells inside of it. And the surgeon said, he may have to take my whole lung out if that's the case. And, I'm frustrated by that because, it's kind of the opposite of what they told me before I started chemo. So again, I am running into these conflicts of advice or opinions. It's frustrating. I'll tell you that. I'll be honest. But in any case, I'm going to stay on the program I'm on right now. They don't want to see me for 3 months. They want to see what happens here, how this thing develops or behaves. So I'm going to continue the suppositories, and another thing that was bugging me. I had really great nursing and care when I went through chemo. So I have nothing, bad to say about the people who who were working with me through all this. One thing, though, that seems to be missing to me, in my opinion, is there's no program in place or much advice about what to do after you go through a harsh treatment like this, how to clean your body out and detox. I asked all my nurses, I asked my oncologist, and they say just to drink water and get your rest. And I don't know, I wanted to be more proactive with that. I'm doing a lot of things right now that are helping me detox. I'd be happy to share all that. It could probably be another video. But real quickly, I take a lot of Epsom baths, baking soda in it, lemon in my water. I'm doing apple cider vinegar detox. It's specifically a different, how should I say this? It's not a regular apple cider vinegar. It's actually got different ingredients for detoxing. Some superfood, super green supplements that I drink in water. Obviously, I'm going to be pretty strict on my diet. Lots of greens, organic stuff. Try to make that the bulk of my diet. Just take care of myself. Try to get my immune system strong again. I'm taking trace minerals, turmeric, if that's how you say it. I don't know what else. I have to be more organized if I do something like this again. But another thing I really wanted to get to, I don't want to talk here forever, but I just want to thank everybody who has reached out to me, in any number of ways, written me, called me, stopped by, visited me, dropped things off. Of course, these benefit shows that people have been organizing and playing. It's hard for me to go down a list of names right now, but I just want to make sure everybody knows how lucky I feel I am, fortunate to have such amazing people in my life who have really let me know, that I matter to a lot of them, and it's overwhelming for me. I don't really have the words, but I'm incredibly thankful. So I hope to see people soon. I'm feeling better. Um, it's funny, after chemo ended, I started, I actually lost all my hair almost. I can't be sure if you could tell. It's coming back already. Even my eyebrows are coming back, but I lost everything like 2 weeks when I was done, which is strange. Everywhere I don't have hair on my legs, but I think it's all starting to come back. So I had a really short, round of hair loss. I lost a lot of it early on, but I never really went bald. So I thought it was strange that it happened so late in the game. Um, that's superficial stuff. I really only care about how I'm feeling right now, and losing my hair or whatever. It's not really something on my mind. Anyways, again, thank you so much. Special credit for the hippo back here too, who has been very confused about watching her dad, fall apart how I was. I wasn't able to do very much for a few months, and I was just really sick. And she didn't understand that, but she was there, as you might expect. That also was helpful for me. So it's been a wild trip. A little bit more to go, I think, but I feel positive about the next chapter, and I'm actually looking forward to, in a way, to seeing if I can get out of this surgery. But the things I'm doing might be enough. One other thing I didn't mention is I had met somebody recently who has an ozone machine, and I don't know if any of you have heard of this ozone therapy. It is offered in other parts of the world. It's not considered a conventional treatment here. If you have the time, I would look it up. But that's also something I'm going to be doing, hopefully, on a regular basis until my next exam. And so I'm going to keep hitting this potential remnant of cancer in my body during this 3 months. It's not instead of conventional treatment, because they don't want to see me anyways until December. So I'm not going to sit idly. I'm going to keep punching, and I'm going to stay positive. So I guess that's it for now. I don't think I explained all this too well, but and I took a while to do this. Unfortunately, right now I'm doing all right. One of the side effects I had from chemo was this chronic drooling problem, which in the last day or two, it's kind of intermittent, but it really, for the last 6 weeks, I've been drooling 24/7, and it's a nightmare. I sleep with the pee pads on the floor so I can lean over and clear my mouth out. And early on, I wasn't able to sleep for about 3 or 4 days at a time because of it, and it really made things horrible. Anyways, I found a window of non-drooling, and I thought maybe this is a good time to talk. So here I am. Anyways, I'll wrap this up. Thanks again, everybody, and I'll be in touch. All right.